And so there are 4 races remaining here in your SIMGEAR F4 Summer Challenge. A challenge which has put everybody on the edge of their seats, challenging every single element of what they've had to go about and work with. But, and this is the critical moment and phase when it comes to this season, it is about getting a consistent bag of results in on the board. We head to possibly the most technical track on the calendar. Oulton Park will be the challenge ground for this, what will be the brilliant 7th and 8th races of the season. Round 4 here with SimGear as we get ourselves ready for racing action. Qualifying currently underway in your amateur category division. My name's Jake Sperry, bringing you all of the action here today in your summer challenge. So these drivers will have 11 minutes on the clock to set the best time that they possibly can, and they will know and understand that they are sitting in a really, really strong position if their championship works out the way that they intend. They know in 7 days that the Nürburgring will be the final port of call for these F4 drivers, the Grand Prix Strecker, so to speak. But here around this Oulton Park circuit, it's about stand up and be counted and hope that all of the technical assets and prowesses that are needed are going to be found in full fruition. Focusing on Valentin Stemenkov there just for a moment, as Dimitar Palauzov will be one of the first drivers heading over to the line to set a first representative lap time on the board, a 1:36.7, which will be used as the benchmark. That is a spin at the Lodge corner, which is the last braking zone on the circuit. The dip down and back up again catches so many drivers out, real world and virtual. Kenny Campos then coming to the line with Lazar Katsarski on a 1:38 flat out there. So there is still a lot of movement. Alex Plamenov with a big 1:34.9, moves 1.8, let's say, clear at the moment, 1.792 faster at the front of the field. So really showing in the early stages of qualifying that there is the time to beat. But now you start looking around and saying, well, what does championship categories look like in terms of points? And it's worth talking about the amateur category championship, because Ivaylo Dimitrov is the driver in complete control of that, and he's currently out there qualifying at this moment on 220 points. In the overall championship, Ivaylo Dimitrov is in 8th place, which is an incredible achievement for the way that he has driven so far in this championship. Following that is Barrios in 2nd position. So for Barrios, 40 points the margin, but looks like not here today to go and defend that. So the responsibility will lie on the shoulders of both Kenny Campos and Lazar Katsarski, who are 42 and 55 championship points away in the amateur category division. So they will have their eyes set on how they can go forward and make sure that they are scoring the points. But Ivaylo Dimitrov is in a very nice position, I would say, at this moment. Stemenkov heading over towards the line now on a 1:36.8. And that's good enough for 3rd fastest at the moment at 1.8 seconds adrift when it comes to qualifying. But the opening corner here is Old Hall, as we see there a little bit of a shake and wiggle over through a couple of corners there for the car behind Stemenkov, Krastin Stanchev. We focus with Kenny Campos then passing the lakeside turn, and here there with the gate to the circuit down through, well, actually, as we take a look at some of the virtual sections out there, we go back to Valentin Stemenkov going through the Shadowless corner on camber hairpin. You don't often see too much of that in the world of motorsport. I think Zandvoort is one of the only places, and we are running the British, I think that was the stop chicane. That is the international version of the chicane. So for Oulton Park, it has a lot of different sections of track that prove to be very, very interesting. Keep in mind, both chicanes being run then here overall. So that will give a lot of indication about where everybody is going to be stacking up. So a lot of heavy braking zone allows for a lot of the drivers to give themselves a chance to attack. It is, of course, this international variant, and the lap record holder is Joseph Loke, who is no stranger to sim racing. He's been racing the iRacing Grand Prix Tour this season. So it was the Britain chicane as the first one, his lops the second, and then it does mean that Knickerbrook Corner is not as aggressive out there as Valentin Stemenkov goes second on a 35.1. And so with that effort, we'll move just half a second off of the pace, and hoping that there will be more to come from it. Then looking at where points are going to be found. Krastin Stanchev then becomes the focus, and we sit here at 7.5 minutes into the 11 minutes, and a wide variety of times are there on the board, as Vilo Dimitrov has gone third quickest on a 35.2. They've had the 2 weeks to get themselves ready and prepared for racing action, which puts them in a little bit more of an interesting position, where you start sitting down and going, okay, well, I can't quite get what I want out of qualifying at the moment, but we will soon see. Valentin Stemenkov with a purple first sector, but everything else going yellow as it goes around. Oh, and again, that final corner, everyone is just a little too egregious. Scott Edwards making his first start of the season in the 135, finding out that's the wrong way of going about things. And there's another car stranded heading through Knickerbrook Corner. That is Dimitar Palauzov by the looks of things, desperately trying to get himself unbeat. Look at him, he's beached in the gravel. He has found a little bit of a, I would say, a raised hill to go through. So let's take a look at this then. Going through Knickerbrook, and he just overcommits through the corner, grabs the grass, and tries to get it turned around. He has eventually got that car turned around, but I do fear for those tyres and how much ice they are going to feel as they look to set themselves up. So here at Oulton Park, a very difficult challenge for Dimitar Palauzov, who has now got a lot of time lost because of the issues that have been ascertained. So Valentin Stemenkov having a good qualifying lap here, needing to late on in the session. They are allowed to finish any laps they start. Scott Edwards with a purple sector for Alex Plamanov, a purple sector for Valentin Stemenkov. This could be a case of everybody could be moving on up and finding places and times. Still waiting on the likes of Eric Vehereif to go put a time in. Krastin Stanchev is another one who is looking to put at least something down on the board. And there is there is Edwards, who's moving up then through towards, well, out of Druids, now to Lodge Corner, and attacks through the middle of the corner, over the curb on the exit, now over towards the line. What will Scott Edwards find here on this lap? And the answer is that one won't count. So we'll need this lap to be the best, because it's the final opportunity there. Stemenkov with one purple sector, Alex Plamanov with 3, going even quicker still. Stemenkov 34.4. goes to the top, but look out behind, because Alex Plamanov will snipe pole position away, and will do so by 0.08 of a second. There, nearly a 10th is the margin then, and Alex Plamanov will be very pleased with that effort to go through. Lazar Katsarski on a 35 flat will go into third position, but we are still in the dying embers of this session right now. Here will come the charge, and I think one more will be available for a Vilo Dimitrov, who crosses and will not set a time with that attempt. But Dimitar Palauzov here is about 5 seconds away from this one all going wrong, and he will just get across the line. So he's got one more to work with. 36.3 is still a second off of a Vilo Dimitrov, but it is 5th in the category, as now the Pro-Ams are given license to go out there and push for those laps. We still think about what Scott Edwards can do with 3 green first sectors, green in sectors 1, 2, and 3, 4 and 5 yellow, so that would be a little more troublesome out there. But now making the run once more down through at the lodge and up the hill once again. Scott Edwards making a run, and again it doesn't count. So Scott Edwards just not finding the ability to put a lap together, and as such will probably have to start from the back with a lot of pace. Krastin Stanchev, the only other driver who is hoping to find a time out there in his FIA F4 out there, and now pushing hard and trying to get that double apex of Druids correct. Very tough to get correct in terms of a section of circuit, but now onto the brakes and in towards the Lodge corner for what is his final attempt, and he will back out of it and go to pit. So that one will not work, so that will do for qualifying in your AM category division. Alex Plamanov ahead of Valentin Stemenkov, with Lazar Katsarski, Ivilo Dimitrov, Dimitar Palazov, and Kenny Campos. No time for Eric Vakerai, no time for Scott Edwards or Krastin Stanchev. They will be split by their iRacing. But as it goes for Joris Ooms here, this is where Pro-Am starts to bring themselves into play. The middle category out there, 251 points for Joris Ooms at the moment, and currently 5th in the overall championship standings, says that this is going to be a very, very well-driven championship out there. He leads Tom Cordy out there by a very nice margin out there overall of 22 championship points, with no Tom Cordy here today. So the next challenger is Maxim Dimitrov, who is 71 championship points adrift. So Joris Ooms is a race win, effectively, clear of his nearest rival, with 140 points maximum on offer here today. He's got a really good chance of walking forward and saying, I'm going to score a bucket of points and make my life so easy when it comes to the Nürburgring. So Joris Ooms will be eyeing that up in terms of where he focuses and gets those points in on the board. He will have his teammate here today as well to help in Roy Viveka. It's nice to see that Roy is back and giving a challenge out there overall today. So for Roy Viveka, he's got a good chance, but we've got drivers like Milen Milchev, Aleix Casanova will be out there looking for times. Maxim Dimitrov, of course, will be there and pushing for lap time out there as well. So Teodor Ivanov, who of course was really, really quick, is now going to go and make those charges. A 34.8 is the first on the docket for Joris Ooms, who goes third. Aleix Casanova going 7th. Now, track temperature is 31 degrees as we head towards midday out there at the moment, as it's partly cloudy, and 20 degrees apparently the air temperature. I'll give that a bit of a doubt based on weather conditions here today, or actually based on a few days ago, because it has been absolutely sauna-like conditions here in the UK for the last couple of days. There is a threat of rain on the horizon. That is due at 1:45, so that will come into play, I guess, about an hour and 45 minutes from now. So I expect these drivers to all miss the rain here when it comes to the qualifying session. But Joris Ooms, purple in the first and third sectors, as we are on board with the roll hoop, climbing the clay hill out of Knickerbrook corner and heading towards Druids. You've got this small kink left, which does disrupt the braking zone, so you are not ever truly comfortable into this bumpy right-hander over the top, under the bridge entrance to the main paddock and the circuit, and in through that right-hand bend that comes along of Lodge, back up the hill, becomes the final charge and challenge point, and crossing that line is going to be key after the deer leap. A 34.341 is enough now to move to pole position by 1/10 of a second. So found the clearance needed, or 3/4 of a tenth of a second. Roy Viveka looking like it could be Mark Speed 1 and 2, as it will be Mark Speed 1 and 4. A 34.7 there. Crossing the line was green in all sectors with a purple one there, so that final sector would have fallen away. Maxim Dimitrov with some green sectors, and Teodor Ivanov is hoping for time as well. He's down in 8th position currently on a 1:36.2. So currently 2 seconds adrift in qualifying, and Teodor Ivanov's been going a little hot and cold. Maxim Dimitrov getting very aggressive over the Britain chicane and over the top of the crest, and into his lops he goes. Gets the climb out, and now looks to start thinking about where can I gain a little bit more. So here again, trying to make Druids work. A wide opening entry, a completely missed apex there through the second part, and that's going to cost a lot of time. Joris Ooms with 2 purple sectors. Roy Vervaeke has one as well, as Joris Ooms just in front is going to push towards the line and improve to a 34 flat to put that down. Wonderful stuff. 34.8 for Maxim Dimitrov, goes 5th, and that was with a missed apex on the lap, so you feel he's definitely got pace to go and get close if he can just line up one corner correctly. Teodor Ivanov jumps to second on a 34.3, and Roy Vervaeke cannot improve on a 35 flat, as they will go to 22 minutes out there in order to put their times together on the board. But for the moment, it is going to be Joris Ooms who has the Pro-Am division currently in the back pocket, and they are playing from the same hymn sheet, all categories, in the sense that they will all be scoring the same points together. There is Teodor Ivanov, who is trying to really rustle up some pace. And it is worth noting that Scott Edwards here cannot go out and continue to run and find those laps. He is someone who does need to be parked at this moment from going out there and consistently setting lap times, because he could be a danger to other drivers, and someone needs to park him very, very quickly out there overall, which is not on for the championship. Because have you read the rules? I'd say the answer is no, he hasn't. Out then of Knickerbrook, the wonderful corner for Teodor Ivanov, which is named Knickerbrook because as they were designing this circuit and they were going through that section, they found a couple who very hastily bolted out of that section there. There was a ditch that was there, and what they found in place was a pair of knickers down in the brook there. So it's effectively been known as Knickerbrook Corner ever since. Up the top of the climb of the DLE goes Teodor Ivanov, crossing and improving to a 34.2. Not close enough to go and gain position, but certainly doing a good enough job to say, I am close. Now, there have been some black and orange mechanical flags for Aleix Casanova and Milen Milchev, which means that their qualifying efforts look like they are done and dusted for how they look to go about things. And so now you're starting to wonder how that all will set in the final stages, with Ooms, Ivanov, Vervaeke and Maxim Dimitrov, the nearest challenger when it has come to the Pro-Am Championship, in 5th position, with the lack of Tom Cordy here today. I would say and argue that he needs to find a result, and he needs to find it fast, because he needs to try and improve on 15 championship points at least. I'd say 17, 18 championship points per race in order to get back into position. Maxim Dimitrov now running up with just a minute and a half left to go. Edwards, by the way, has set a time in 9th position. I think the stewarding team has got to keep an eye on that, or maybe give him a points penalty, because he shouldn't be in 9th position, setting his time after the 11 minutes have expired. And I think it's a real shame. They are all lining up now in the pro category to get themselves going, and for Maxim Dimitrov then remains in 5th position. We go back to the likes of Teodor Ivanov, hoping that this time will work, as we sit in with just 1 minute to go in this session, charging over towards the line, and that one an out lap to gear up for a flying lap out there at this stage. Maxim Dimitrov, Joris Ooms, Roy Vervaeke and Teodor Ivanov, the only 4 who are out there. I believe Aleix Casanova might have gone out late here after getting the repairs sorted, or is not in play in sessions, so not in play, will be unable to make anything happen. So, Roy Viveka now on board with going through the Shell Oils corner and looking to charge over towards that Britain chicane. It is a very interesting one because you've got a very fast entry into a very slow middle of the chicane, and then you've got the small flick left on full power. And that will give you the opportunity to run off of the exit. Downhill braking zone into this section, and those tyre bundles, they do not shift. If you do clip any one of them, you are going to be in a world of torturous pain because your car is going to be parked from that point onwards. Roy Viveka climbing the hill. Checker flag is out in this division, so it'll be Maxim Dimitrov who will be first to the line of the Pro-Ams, and no lap time offered up by Maxim Dimitrov by way of an off-track somewhere on the lap. It now heads to Joris Ooms, who feels he's safe, and that'll be why Roy Viveka spinning, and that will do that. He gets off the circuit just in front of Teodor Ivanov, who hopes that his time's enough then to move up even further. 34.183, he was able to improve some more, and that didn't work. And there is Scott Edwards doing what Scott Edwards likes at the moment, and the answer is he should really be parked for ignoring directive out there on track. But the pros now find themselves in play, and it is a really, I would say, a great investment in the Pro Championship, as everybody has found themselves on the same piece of circuit. Look at them battling. Kevin Abey trying to work away past Gabriel Ivanov. Championship as follows: 25 points is the margin at the top for Gonzalo Prieto, but there are 3 drivers chasing him down right now: Martin Yankov, Christian Novev, and Chris Razhalov. The combination of those 3 drivers behind acting as a Bulgarian Cerberus for the Spaniard to try and navigate a way through. You then have in 5th position Alberto Campos, who is down 115 points, and then the likes of Kevin Abey, Gabriel Ivanov, those who have missed around in this championship, looking to bring themselves into contention. But right now, I would argue, at least at this moment in time, that they are hopeful and they are wishing at this point to say, can you get what you need, as Gabriel Ivanov jumps down into the pit, and everybody now starts thinking about, okay, what have I done? Exactly what I've needed to do to gear on up. You've got the likes of Alex Stefanov, who is stage hunting, Gonzalo Prieto, who will be out there on his own, looking to prove what he is worth. And we're on board with the Lemon Squad car right now, and Gonzalo is looking to try and set the timing sheets alight, right, with green first and second sectors through the Shell Oils corner and attack off the exit. You need a car that is going to be very planted underneath you. Didn't really show some amazing times in practice here, did Gonzalo Prieto. He only managed a 133.9, which is about, I would say, a fraction, a slither ahead of Joris Ooms. Heading into the right and the left here, it's Alex Stefanov who is lighting the timing sheets up, not Martin Yankov, not Alberto Campos here, but for the moment, Alex Stefanov, who is hounding the back of Martin Yankov to try and get by. Kevin Abey can't keep up, and nor can Gian Zaltavella, who is here after missing last time out. So you've got Zaltavella in the mix too, looking to try and use what is available. So, can there be an almighty challenge out there? Gonzalo Prieto will set the first real emphasis of pace from these pros. 34.2 it will be to go third overall. And then you look around, Alberto Campos, nowhere in pace. Kevin Abey goes to the top and gets things sorted. So penalties, of course, were in play for Murtol Shaheen, Vladimir Mavrodiev, and Eric Vekeraif. So those drivers were unable to go and set a representative time. But Kevin Abey there late. Alex Stefanov had to abandon his lap with an off-track somewhere, but Abey is there at the front with Martin Yankov giving direct chase. Just listened in for the sounds and sights of what made this series so brilliant. These cars that absolutely fly about and say everything is all about the mix of power and precision out there on track. So who has got precision? Who has got what is necessary? Alex Stefanov now looking around because it's AB, Yankov and Prieto moving up on a 33.9, now up into third position out there. The wonderful livery moving through of Gian Zautavella there with the G of Logitech, I believe that is, on the front of the car. So really looking to try and push hard there in the blue and orange that is there in for full display as he climbs up the hill and looks for any opportunity to go and put a time down on the board. This is going to be a very tough qualifying, it has to be said. They have right up to the 35 minutes to put something down, but if they are out there, they've got to get it done within 35 minutes. Alberto Campos goes 6th. Chris Vrajilov is miles down the order here. He is down in, was in 11th, now up to 3rd, so that was big for Chris. He knows how critical it was to go and find a time. And as things go, no Christian Novev here today, so it will mean it's only 2 heads to deal with for one Mr. Gonzalo Prieto, but he's behind Chris Vrajilov, who's starting in 3rd, and he's behind Martin Yankov, who is there in 2nd. So it looks like chip damage in terms of building up what is necessary. This will be a tough battle that we will see, but for the moment it's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and look at how aggressive there Chris Vrajilov goes across the curbs. That might have been an off-track going through that section. If it was, then this lap time you can kiss sayonara to in terms of what he's been trying to do. And this is more of a technical circuit, so less reliant on the top speed, more reliant on the aerodynamic grip that is available. There are sections on this track where you will need the ability to overtake, but push comes to shove, it will be very difficult. Gabriel Ivanov is a little ways down the order on a 134.6. They still haven't parked then Scott Edwards, who is there in 13th, directly behind on 34.9, but he is hunting him down out there and doing a really good job actually of doing that for the moment. So Gabriel Ivanov is now really trying to throw everything he can to the wall and see what sticks in terms of lap time, as track temperature currently sits at, I believe here, a 29 degrees, but it is blowing a gale here today. Winds in from the southeast at 23 kilometers an hour. It is throwing itself at it at the moment, and it looks like it is going to stay off dry by comparison to later on. We're going to get rain at 4 o'clock, but we're not going to reach 4 o'clock, so it is going to stay off dry by the looks of things for the entirety of the run. But here is Gabriel Ivanov, who's been working for that lap time, 34.291, just behind Alberto Campos, and 8th place is all that can be managed. So that looks to be a very nice lap time that is set. Alberto Campos is still hoping to warm up some tyres here late on, because you are looking around and going, well, it's 90 seconds, so you've got to get in with 33 and a half, well, actually just a bit less. I'd say 33.20 is your cutoff. Anything later than that, and it will be a little bit more dramatic out there as to where everybody sits themselves about. So now you start looking. Campos is really trying to think about this next lap, gearing it up, trying to go. Kevin Aby's been unchallenged since setting his first flying lap out there, and he'll want to go out on the tyres. It takes a couple laps to get them into range in order to make everything work. Martin Yankov is 2 cars in front with no slipstream. Alex Stefanov with no lap time is hoping to try and jump up as well and move another potential spanner in the work. Gian Zautavella hasn't set a representative time yet. He's done a 35.3, and that's about it. And now we're getting towards that crunch time here in qualifying. Who's going to stand up? Gabriel Ivanov with 3 green sectors is looking at improvements here. He's only half a second, by the way, off a pole position right now, which sits at the 33.7 mark, as there goes one Mr. Alex Stefanov on the back of Martin Yankov, his own teammate there. There's Vrajilov as he pushes. Gabriel Ivanov sets no time to improve out there at this point, but you still got to think that these final laps are going to be critical, because Alberto Campos will be second to the line. You look at Gonzalo Prieto at the moment as we are on board with Campos. Alberto Campos with a purple 5th sector, and he heads himself over towards the line and does a 34 flat and can't improve, but will have one final roll of the dice. He'll get in with just enough time to go, but Alberto Campos won't. So this is his last attempt. Crosses the line, nothing given, nothing offered. Vrajilov will go through, nothing offered. Martin Yankov then is next, 300th the difference that is needed. Alex Stefanov has a wiggle coming out then of Lodge Corner, and that forces an overtake from Kevin Abbey. Yankov came to the line on the 33.618 and got it away. The mistake there from Alex Stefanov cost Kevin Abbey his shot of pole position. Zautavella crosses on a 34.5 and finds a minor improvement. There's a spin going down into turn 3, and so now you look around, Gonzalo Prieto will be the last car there. Was this a case of Abbey using his car in a certain way, or was there no contact? It looks like he just got into the grass and spun it and lost it. Prieto has spun and lost it through his lops, and so that will be that for qualifying. Your field is set. Martin Yankov, when he needed to put himself up on the front for championship picture, is now going to have that pole position with that 33.6 right at the end of qualifying. Kevin Abbey will be alongside him on the front row with Chris Vrajilov and Gonzalo Prieto in 3rd and 4th places. You then got Joris Ooms and Teodor Ivanov with Alberto Campos in 7th position, with Gabriel Ivanov in 8th. Roy Viveka and Alex Plamanov make up your top 10 then as they stack up, and Oulton Park gets itself ready for racing action. 20 minutes are the races, 20 laps as well they are put to it. So there you can see it then. Kevin Abbey in 2nd, Vrajilov from Prieto, Ooms and Ivanov, your Pro-Am leaders there with Alberto Campos and Gabriel Ivanov. Roy Viveka in 9th, Alex Plamanov, the leader of your AM category for Sofia Car Motorsports, in 10th position, and 11th and 12th belonging to Maxim Dimitrov and Valentin Stemenkov. It's then Gian Zautavella who is there in 13th, ahead of Scott Edwards and Lazar Katsarski. Ivilo Dimitrov is 16th, the championship leader in AM, with Aleix Casanova, Dimitar Palauzov, Kenny Campos, and Kenny Campos setting a time in 19th. Last driver to set a time. 25 cars here today, with Alex Stefanov on iRacing ahead of Murtol Shaheen, Milan Milchev, Vladimir Mavrodiev, Eric Veharaif, and Krastin Stanchev. So, 2 minutes to grid, and a very quick run towards turn number 1 at Old Hall Corner. It always catches out somebody that's not expecting it, because it is just a plain right-hander, but you carry so much late apexing through that section, it does become a single file challenge. We wait for a handful of drivers to get onto the grid. The likes of Scott Edwards, for example, is one of them. Roy Viveka will be another that we wait and hope is going to make a way onto the grid. But those at the back have got a lot of progress that they want to try and make. Those nearer the front are going to be trying to hold what they've got. With championships aplenty on the line and 15 seconds to wait for, it's just Scott Edwards that the focus is on. The 135 that spent all that time out in qualifying but decides, you know what, I can't do too much of it. Does finally grid, and now let's get ourselves set, because Oulton Park is ready for 2 races. Race 7 of the SIMGEAR F4 Summer Challenge starts now, and we're underway. A horrible start then of reaction for Chris Radulov. Gonzalo Prieto's immediately going to go through and find that pass, and through as well. Teodor Ivanov goes Alberto Campos moving through and getting time. Middle of the pack starts to sort itself out as they all got through safely the opening corners, but Yankov with the clearance from AB, Prieto third, Radulov in fourth position, and back they go as they start thinking about where we need to tinker about and find these places. They look out through this long left-hander leading to the Shell Oils hairpin, and there are the likes of Ted or even obviously got as well Gian Zaltavella taking a tap. Roy Vervaker is has found the tap there. Zaltavella through the grass, and a little bit of a slowdown there for Teodor Ivanov. Then as Dimitar Palauzov in trouble, missing the front left and out then of this race with a massive incident into the barriers. Followed Aleix Casanova off the road. Casanova just avoided the tyres, and there was no such luck for Dimitar Palauzov on the opening lap of the race, but 5 clear at the front and holding themselves to account quite lovely. Murtol Shaheen is making good progress, but we go a little bit further back to the likes of Alex Stefanov, who is up into 18th position, working with Murtol Shaheen, who's eyeing up Ivaylo Dimitrov, who is championship leader for the AM category, and not able to find a move then in the early going. So that one gives a little bit of a sense of where are you going to find those moves, and I would say Lodge Corner is a very good place to go and find passing. You don't often see it go wrong at that section, and a little bit further in front of that, this group right now, which is on the back, Gian Zaltavella, and in front of that, Maxim Dimitrov, Alex Plamanov, Roy Vervaker, and Joris Ern. So the Mark Speed train starts to go into locomotion and leave the station here in Cheshire. Little Budworth is where we are, not a million miles away from Liverpool. But out then goes Gonzalo Prieto, looking around because there is Kevin Aby getting a little bit antsy, hoping that there might be a mistake out of Martin Yankov, who takes the middle of the road. And because this is only a 3 wide at best scenario, you can run the middle of the road, and it really causes dramas on where are you going to find a place to pass. Yankov gets good drive coming out there of Knickerbrook corner and climbs the clay hill. Lazar Katsarski is dropping down the order because he's had a spin going through at Knickerbrook. As he come together with Edwards, he had himself a big moment. Edwards had nowhere to go, and there was huge contact between the pair of them, and so that has caused dramas for Lazar Katsarski, who can't do anything about where that has all come to be. But the front continues on, undeterred by what has been going on a little bit further back through Old Hall Corner, and a run along the avenue. A small click right of Denton's comes along after that, which leads on by to see more places. Alex Stefanov caught himself wrong place, wrong time, and that's it. He's had to jump into the pits. He's got a black and orange mechanical flag. He'll have a huge amount of work to do in the next race. Wide is going to go Roy Vervaker. 1, 2, 3, 4, count them. Places lost. AB having a search to the outside. Look at a gravel down there on the apex inside as they work a way through. Very tough to deal with. Gian Zaltavella now through to make a pass, or try and make a pass on Alex Plamanov. Plamanov is fighting hard for it behind as well as the leading AM driver against the pro, but around the outside Plamanov can't do anything as we've got that off camera, the move that has been made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all in a line with Gabriel Ivanov and Teodor Ivanov there, 3 wide. Big lift off by Alex Plamanov, wanted nothing of it. Stemenkov through, Dimitrov through, and then the likes of course, Roy Vervaker finding a way back through. So a lot of moves because Alex Plamanov has the black and orange mechanical flag for damage. So he's dealing with a car that's a little circumspect, and he's going to have to come in and get repairs when there are no fast repairs available out there. There is Gonzalo Prieto. Sorry, no, that's Alberto Campos on the back now of Chris Radulov. This is to try and put a bit of distance in between to score some more points. And I'd say every point at this stage of the season is going to matter. There goes Plamanov down into the pit, but for the moment it's 6 at the front. Gabriel Ivanov has broken away from the Pro-Am leader, of Theodor Ivanov, who got through on Joris Ooms a few laps ago, and now is starting to try and work here. Lap 4, and we're a quarter of the way through this race. It's Yankov from Aby, from Prieto, from Vrajilov, from Campos, and Gabriel Ivanov in 6th place. No driver able to break the deadlock currently as they rush through. This is Chris Vrajilov in 4th position after some wonderful strategy at Monza. Put him right place, right time. Thinks about the inside, covered off, heading to Hislops. And that will be a very, very good defence. Now here comes the searching through Druids Corner, and off the exit, 2 circuits in the UK with a corner known as Druids, and both with a lot of trees around it. It might be because they've got the same company that owns the circuit, being Motorsport Vision Racing, who are the owners of the track. But at least right now, happy to stay where they are at the moment in the pits. Palauzov, Katsarski, Plamanov, Alex Stefanov, all there. Oh, and off in the grass through Druids. That was dramatic for Kenny Campos, who by matter of finishing these races is scoring the points and giving himself really a wonderful chance to keep the championship hopes alive, but he is very reliant on retirement elsewhere, causing that point total to rise. Milan Milchev in the middle at the moment, with Aleix Casanova in front and Valentin Stamenkov in 11th place, as Maxim Dimitrov for company here in 10th. This is now your leader in AM at this stage after losing Alex Plamanov, so a good look of points for Valentin Stamenkov to try and jump up. It's 70 points for a race win, 63 championship points if you get yourself second, and then for 3rd position out there in the racing, it is 58, then it's 54, 51, and then 2-point increment down to 10th, where 41 points are scored, and then 1-point increment after that. A point for the fastest lap, and 2 points for those who look and say, I can go and do this entire race without worrying about incident points, which will be a huge point of pride for many in this race number 1. But Gonzalo Prieto still stalks on the back of Kevin Aby, as Prieto, the championship leader, is looking for an opportunity, and it's looking like this is a bit more of a tougher scenario out there. This is Eric Vegerijf coming down into Hislop chicane and looking to attack in early, loses with over-rotation, and in the end creates a smoke screen, which would be no good at all for those Pirellis. Kenny Campos, I think, has done the same. Prieto! Oh my goodness me! Gonzalo Prieto has gone straight off the circuit and somehow, I think, has avoided the barriers, has he? Over there at the Shell Oils corner. He tagged the right rear, and that is him in a world of hurt. Black and orange mechanical flag, and the championship blown wide open. He was in a huge place. Chris Vrajilov went off with him and was able to recover out on track. And the key as they were going by was the lap traffic of Alex Stefanov, who stayed low to the inside. Both drivers had to try and avoid it, and ultimately one into the barriers, and Chris Vrajilov lucky to slow the car down enough to not find drama. That is huge as far as this championship goes. An advantage Martin Yankov. So Prieto turns in for the corner. Now he's going to understeer out wide. Very J.R. Hildebrand like at the Indy 500. And now he's just got to make sure, look, he's like full opposite lock, tries to get a rotation, bang, contact in with the right rear. And Gonzalo Prieto, the championship leader by 25 points, could be seeding 70 out there if he can't find a way to get to a finish, as he now drives into the pits and now knows that he will not be classified as a finisher in this one. Kevin Avey now up to second, and Ivanov then in third. The avoidance from Chris Radulov means he's down in 6th place as Joris Ooms loses out to Jan Zoutevella, who goes through. So Dutchman past the Belgian to make that move. Radulov also losing out that position, and so Theodor Ivanov now has a bit of buffer to go and work with. Radulov will be looking around going, well, I'll count my lucky stars that I'm still in that race, or still in this race I should say, at the halfway stage, but still proving there is a long way to go. Aleix Casanova now trying to eye up a pass. This will be on Milen Milchev, and this will be about getting up into, I believe, 15th place with a couple of retirements. Then it looks like we have lost Scott Edwards as well over the course of that lap, so I am quite interested to see where Scott Edwards found a fallacy going wrong. Went off the road a couple of times, but I didn't see anything majorly untoward, maybe just dealing with a bit of damage on the front wing, and that is the correct answer by the looks of things. Very much a case of a bump on the front, leaving no damage there, and so Scott Edwards now in the pits, but he's back out and going again. Theodor Ivanov now losing the place as he has seen Chris Radulov move back into the top 5. Jan Zoutevella will also be thinking about things and where he goes, making moves and progress. So in the second half of this race, it's on, but gaps have opened up towards the front of the field because Martin Yankov is under pressure. Kevin Avey wants to play spoiler and find himself up at the top with a win. Kevin Avey is doing everything he can to try and give Martin Yankov a tough time. But now for Martin Yankov, he's got himself what he wants, and that is the race lead, still holding it. He's led every lap so far. He's led every corner so far as this race has gone. And really, he is proving that he has got a lot to go and focus with. Now, here comes Jan Zoutevella down the inside. Theodor Ivanov gets a good defence going because he knows it's not just the position of 2 championship points he'd lose. It's also bringing Joris Ooms into the fight, and he doesn't want Joris into play. He doesn't want him getting close. And now Kevin Avey has another look. This time he'll go to the outside, heading to Lodge Corner. You've got to try and set them up. This is a tactical game of chess that's being played at right now over 150, 170 kilometers now, 180. Now they'll hit almost 200 into turn 1. Inside line for Kevin Avey. Martin Yankov pins the car around the outside and holds his place and station there with a wonderful bit of defensive driving. Now down through the Cascades at turn number 3. An attack off the exit. You get another shot of slipstream to go and work with. And Kevin Avey now thinking of the inside here through the lakeside bend, and critically not able to go and make that pass happen. It is a very tough place to go through on Oulton Lake as they go through the island bend to try and make that pass. So that is tough. It will always be tough to get that move, and Martin Yankov gets a couple tenths of a second of reprieve out there. So a good bit of a reprieve will be in play, but Avey is now trying to attack some different places there through the Hislop chicane as we go back to Joris Ooms in a big scrap there a little further down, and he can't get by Theodor Ivanov. Someone who is joining the scene here, who's loving life, Murtol Shaheen, up at 10 spaces in this race, as now Kevin Avey gets another good run out of Druids, and again middle of the road from Martin Yankov, and he has to stay there because of the threat of Kevin Avey, who will pick a good run off the exit. There's Murtol Shaheen, but Avey's going to get a run here in towards turn 1, is he? He's looking close, he thinks about it, he half thinks about it, trying to make that move. Martin Yankov has to get the space, but again, pins the car wonderfully down on the exit. And with 5.5 minutes to go in this race, he's really throwing Kevin Avey through a loop. Remember that there is an invert that comes into play of the top 10, and that's where Valentin Stemenkov sits, and that's huge for the AM category championship. If Ivilo Dimitrov's 13th and he's 10th, He'll be on pole for race 2. Yankov having to defend still from Kevin Aby, who looks for a run off the exit. Looks left, looks right, looks left. He's huge in the mirrors, swarming to try and find a way. Slow car as they go through now. That'll be Aleix Casanova, who's got damage. And so as they go through, Gonzalo Prieto, but oh, no way! Oh my goodness, Aleix Casanova and Martin Yankov have come together. Is that down to any damage, or was that deliberate in terms of the way they went through? That is major. It looks deliberate as a takeout there for Aleix Casanova, who is slowing down and has deliberately swiped at Martin Yankov. I feel this would be to help Gonzalo Prieto out, and I would say in the fairness of this sport, that is definitely not on, and words will significantly have to be had with some of the stewarding team. There is damage for Alex Plamanov out there, who is looking like he's just trying to limp himself into a space where he needs to. So Kevin Aby now leads. So Aleix Casanova, no doubt here in this one as he goes along. He will turn over to the left and immediately takes Martin Yankov out of contention there. So that is a huge no-no as far as sim racing goes, and one of the few times I'd say that you can actually protest league races out there, and I'm sure that Nim Cross Jr. would love to have a chat with Aleix Casanova and Gonzalo Prieto here. The Lemon squad absolutely not on, and quite frankly despicable, the actions there that we just saw going through and making that happen. So Valentine, you can see there, drivers trying to stay out of the way there. Maxime Dimitrov and Joris Oud there looking to put themselves into play. But right now, I would say that this is a very, very tumultuous moment. There are drivers everywhere who are looking at points, who are looking at, well, what can we do out there? Where can we find more? And I wonder if Aleix Casanova maybe even got wrong. It was Alex Stefanov who was slow in terms of that, and it's a case of mistaken identity there between the teammates. So that could even be that. Murtol Shaheen looking for a place up to get to 8th against Teodor Ivanov, and Maxime Dimitrov in there as well. So that is also going to be bringing that into mind, and certainly showing that there is a lot that can still be changed in the final 3 minutes here. And Teodor Ivanov going on the offensive now, trying to go and find this move. And so he will put himself with Maxime Dimitrov then to look and put everything into play. So you've got Murtol Shaheen as well, searching around and trying to get it done. There, it is tough here in terms of those moves, but Maxime Dimitrov loses out in terms of that, so he keeps himself into position. Teodor Ivanov will now move up. Maxime Dimitrov puts himself in play, and Chris Vrajilov trying to get by Alberto Campos for 3rd, and again another championship contender here, along with a Lemon Squad car to try and get by. This has potential to not be great as they start to move through and figure out where they want to be. There is the climb over the hill. How easy will Alberto Campos make this one go through? They are fighting for position, so a legitimate battle. Round the outside tries Vrajilov. He can't get the move done, and so well defended by Alberto Campos to keep himself exactly where he needs to be. Just behind him is Martin Yankov, who's been able to keep the car going, by the way, and believe it or not, does not have the black and orange mechanical flag despite the hit. So he's got away with one. He's still piloting around in 17th place, so he's done well out there, and he's still going to be ahead of Gonzalo Prieto, who's in 20th. So Yankov not fully out of this race, but should be treated as such the way that it's gone. But 1 minute to go, and we'll take another look at this here. Aleix Casanova here on the outside. You can see he's fully over to the left-hand side, and he just goes full left hand down and just turns across Martin Yankov and deliberately induces contact. The most egregious I have seen in iRacing in a very long time. But Chris Vrajilov on the final lap is hoping to try and find a move, and so too is Gabriel Ivanov for the race lead. And we've completely missed this because there's been so much going on in this. Gabriel Ivanov here is trying to steal this one away. Kevin Abbey here is going to look around wheel to wheel. They will be into the Britain chicane, and it will be advantage for whoever can put the pad on the outside. Little move over. They're going to interlock wheels as they now climb the hill. Ivanov's not going to have to drive. Kevin Abbey looks like he's going to hold this, but now this is about being aggressive on the brakes. Down the hill into this right, and they'll fight for the same piece of real estate. Kevin Abbey! Oh, what a great hold against Gabriel Ivanov, who's been gifted a wonderful opportunity to go out and fight for it. Vrajilov, by the way, has dropped a couple of places over the last couple of laps. He tried to go around the outside of Alberto Campos, overcooked it in the corner. I don't think there was contact between them as they went in, and Vrajilov will lose a couple spots. But Kevin Abbey, a corner away, really had to dig down deep on the defence. And you have to say it with Martin Yankov, who was faultless at the start of this race. By default, Kevin Abbey wins this race 7 of the season. Ivanov is second, and a long wait for Alberto Campos to finish off in third. Fifth for Chris Vrajilov is a huge boat of points to chase on down, and will inherit the championship lead as they go, because in 19th position right now is, oh, Vilo there, your AM category leader, going for a spin. Stamenkov will now get the invert. Murtol Shaheen will be second, and so even Vilo Dimitrov will fall back to Milen Milchev, who is there for 19 championship points. For 19th position, it's 32 championship points, placed 70. So now it is a championship lead, a small one, but still a championship lead now for Chris Vrajilov. No, actually, 51 will play 32, so he only gains 19. So believe it or not, 17th and 34 for a driver like Martin Yankov. It will still be Gonzalo Prieto, but definitely by not as much as they go. So let's get confirmation of results, as Eric Vegerijf will be the last car on the leading lap to head towards the line. Kevin Abbey will pick up the victory by 4/10 over Gabriel Ivanov, with Alberto Campos in third place. Jan Zoutevella and Chris Vrajilov are fourth and fifth, with Joris Ohm sixth and Theodor Ivanov in seventh. It then follows Maxim Dimitrov, Murtol Shaheen, Valentin Stamenkov and Vladimir Mavrodiev making your top 10 as it goes. It then goes with Vladimir Mavrodiev in 11th, Valentin Stamenkov in 10th, with Milan Milchev, Vilo Dimitrov, Krastin Stanchev, Eric Vegerijf will find himself in 15th. Martin Yankov will take 16th place over the line, and will be really upset with that, with Scott Edwards, Roy Viveka and Gonzalo Prieto leading retirees technically in this one at 3 laps down. Alex Stefanov, Aleix Casanova, Kenny Campos you can put at 5 laps down, Lazar Katsarski, Alex Plamanov and Dimitar Palauzov. I think we need a break to decompress from a race like that, with race 8 coming up after this. And so, with 3 races to go, a major critical moment in this championship blows it wide open. The issue going through between Alex Stefanov and Gonzalo Prieto, causing tension where Aleix Casanova goes eye for eye and takes out Martin Yankov. But the field now is set for this one, as Valentin Stamenkov will be on the pole, Murtol Shaheen alongside with Maxim Dimitrov and Teodor Ivanov. Joris Ohms 5th, Chris Vrajilov 6th, then it's Gian Zartavella and Alberto Campos, with Gabriel Ivanov and Kevin Aby making your top 10. Martin Yankov will go from 16th, Gonzalo Prieto will go from 19th out there. And so you now start thinking of who can make progress. By the way, Alex Stefanov and Aleix Casanova are 1 stall away, 20th and 21st. In the hot summer heat, tempers are flaring to a level that has not been seen in a very long time. Whose cool head will prevail at the moment? You'd say it's Chris Vrajilov. Lights on here at Oulton Park for race number 8 of the season, the second of 2 here tonight. We are underway. Not the best start by Valentin Stamenkov. Murtol Shaheen, who started tonight in 21st position, now leads through Old Hall Corner and gets what he wants. Maxim Dimitrov 3rd. Teodor Ivanov tries to move forward and get what he wants, and everyone is nice and clean in through the middle of the pack as they start thinking about ways they can overtake and find a way forward. Now, big junker in the middle. It's caught both the Mark Speed cars out, and one car as well has been involved. Now, Chris Vrajilov has been caught up in it. So Vrajilov in trouble on the opening lap. There has been a car caught up, so Vrajilov took contact as he went through Cascade, then by Gabriel Ivanov, Alberto Campos, and Kevin Aby was just able to avoid it. Nowhere to go for, I believe, Joris Ohms, who was right in the middle of it. A massive dagger thrown again here in this race. Shaheen leads, it's Stamenkov 2nd, it's Maxim Dimitrov in 3rd. A huge gap now. Martin Yankov from 16th on the grid. He's up to 8th, and we've only done half a lap's worth of racing. Absolutely sensational stuff. Vladimir Mavrodiev is there in 10th, with Ivilo Dimitrov and Gonzalo Prieto trying to run his way through the field and gain a couple places now as he looks to attack through Druids, and he gets it. Contact behind as Krastin Stanchev makes that contact, and Lazar Katsarski now brings himself into a battle as likes of Alex Stefanov tries to find a way through on him right now as he's gone by Kenny Campos, but at least at the front, Murtol's got what he wants. Now for 7th, Martin Yankov looking to try and dive down the inside of Old Hall Corner, the little shoving there with Milen Milchev, and they might force it 3 wide with Gabriel Ivanov, who's now going to have to take to the grass and avoid his own teammate, and they come together. Ivanov having a horrible race 8 of his championship then, as Milen Milchev ends up bystander to that hit. Dimitar Palauzov, by the way, with a black flag for a jump start. Milchev, Ohms, Plamanov, Ivanov, Campos, Casanova, and Vrajilov, all with damage of the black and orange meatball flag variety. And Chris Vrajilov, who was looking close for the championship, now sees everything go up in smoke as they were trying to push it 3 wide, as it was a case of Gabriel Ivanov trying to force the issue, Milen Milchev having to leave himself room, and ultimately the 2 teammates will look at each other, throw their hands out the cockpit and go, how on earth did that end up being the overall solution? Teodor Ivanov has had a spin going through, or has he had contact with Kevin Aby as he's right? Oh, yes, he has. So Kevin Aby then didn't have the angle into the corner. Teodor Ivanov's been turned across the nose. And it's a case of who hasn't been involved in an incident tonight now, rather than who has. So it looks like Teodor Ivanov has been caught out, wrong place, wrong time. And there's Vladimir Mavrodiev in 10th position, going for 9th as he tries to get by Ivilo Dimitrov now, with Scott Edwards sitting on the rear. I'll tell you what, the stewards are going to have so much work to do in order to bring themselves in and keep this group in check, with 2 races of the season left to go after this at the Nürburgring. And ultimately, Vladimir Mavrodiev still can't get the clearance. Now look at how they're holding together, because you've got Scott Edwards, Roy Viveka, Krastin Stanchev's there, Alex Stefanov also brings himself to the point. Up and under attempt comes along. Viveka with a good run then along the island straight. Along the lakeside straight, heading to the island corner here. And off the road goes Roy. And that will bring him into trouble as he tries to avoid the barriers. And he gets in the gravel and nearly beaches himself, but does a good enough job. Alex Stefanov joins the fray here back and looks to try and jump on up and gain some places. So that's big. Yankov in 6th. Gonzalo Prieto is 7th at this moment in time. You got the likes of Kevin Abey, Maxim Dimitrov, who are all pushing. Zaltavella as well, looking to try and hunt for a victory, with Valentin Stemenkov currently in 2nd. On board with Alex Stefanov here, who is also trying to recover through the field after the dramas of race 1. Big snap of oversteer, trying to go through the middle there as Kevin Abey now looks to eye up 4th place on Maxim Dimitrov. Abey trying to go back-to-back here around this place. The front wing damage certainly won't help, but wide through the corner goes Maxim Dimitrov there at the lodge, and that will ultimately mean a change of position. Gian Zaltavella close to Valentin Stemenkov in the mock-up Stewart livery, trying to work out, can I go around the outside of the cascade to move up into 2nd, tries it, has to leave the door half ajar, still having to leave room on the exit. Now it's about drive, and Zaltavella blinks out of existence. He's back side by side. That'll be a huge shock then for Stemenkov, who's just got to try and leave that room, and Zaltavella, who gets the inside, now can chase Murtol Shaheen for the race lead in the Bitcoin car. Abey still able to hold against Maxim Dimitrov, who's not giving up, but Martin Yankov, though, is someone who definitely won't be, who's trying to chase on back. Still, though, there's positions as Alex Stefanov has run through this group. He's now got Scott Edwards in front of him, so Stanchev, Mavrodiev, Ivaylo Dimitrov, the AM category championship leader, and Lazar Katsarski are all together then in this train and figuring out exactly where they need to be and where they need to go in order to unlock what is needed on these next passes. A little look into the mirrors there from the mock-up blue Ferrari, cool Ferrari you could say, right now of Ivaylo Dimitrov, trying to certainly hunt and give some notice. Down to 19 runners then from the starting 25 that we had, losing Brazilov, Plamanov, Casanova, Gabriel Ivanov, Alberto Campos and Joris Oud then from racing on the opening laps. Alex Stefanov eyeing up Scott Edwards for a place, and this would be a good pass to move on up into 9th position. This would be for a very nice drive it would be if that could manage to make itself happen. Attacking intent is certainly going to be there on the outside, but at least right now Alex Stefanov can watch and wait as Scott Edwards holds his own at the moment and does exactly what he needs to do out there, which is keep the pace up. Zaltavella, second fastest driver. Murtol Shaheen did a 33.8, by the way, on that last lap. And there is Alex Stefanov really trying to find a line into the Shell Oils hairpin, which is the loneliest section of the circuit in range of fans out there at this moment in time. So that'll be tough. Into the pits, though, comes Milan Milchev then, and that will be for damage, you would feel. And for him, it's a case of I couldn't last any longer with what I had, so I will come in, get repairs, and hopefully come out again. And there's the side-by-side. There's Vladimir Mavrodiev. Oh, spins. He almost hit his own teammate, Krastin Stanchev. There, that's a big moment for Mavrodiev, and he will drop a handful of places, knowing how critical it is to score in the Pro-Am Championship. So as we're not even at halfway, Alex Stefanov continues to stalk the back of Scott Edwards, who's not doing anything wrong by the way he's driving. Defensive line taken, and speaking of can you get moves done, Martin Yankov out of Lodge in towards Old Hall Corner, gets the clearance sorted, and now is up into 5th position with that pass on Maxim Dimitrov. Will eye up Abey and Valentin Stemenkov, Zaltavella and Murtol Shaheen if he can reach them out there at this point. And a 33.6 that time from Martin Yankov, really trying to turn the screws. As down the hill, there are searches abound at the Cascades as Krastin Stanchev holds Ivaylo Dimitrov and Lazar Katsarski for positions. That is 11th, 12th and 13th where that battle continues to brew out there at a very tumultuous Oulton Park. Ivilo Dimitrov eyeing up the inside with the natural line. Attacks off of the exit using the banking to help. And now figures, well, can I go and get it done at the Britain chicane? Answer that is no, but he's very aggressive through the second part, and that will give him a good run up the hill. This will give the opportunity. Krastin Stanchev is going to be aggressive on the brakes, and the off-track racing car pinches very nicely, but can he get the turn in through the corners? Yes, but now out of Knickerbrook and in the grass with two tyres trying to pick up the run. That's going to be a case of extending, and Krastin Stanchev has got to be alert to that. Ivilo Dimitrov pulls alongside, looking for Druids as a place where he can make that move and lunges down the inside to take that away. And behind, Lazar Katsarski is going to try the mock-up Renault to get that place, as well as it will be 2 in 2 corners potentially on the brakes. Yes, move done by the likes of one Mr. Lazar Katsarski, and into the pits goes Krastin Stanchev with the black and orange mechanical flag for damage. So that will hurt as well, as more drivers find themselves wrong place, wrong time in terms of getting what they need. AB closing on Stamenkov then. This is for the last spot on the podium. Slight lock of the inside fronts then from AB as he tries to get through the Shell Oils corner. And Valentin Stamenkov, as an AM category driver, really holding his own right now in this race 8 of the season, this second race tonight of round 4 of the SIMGEAR F4 Summer Challenge. Martin Yankov on a mission right now, and I think everybody who is watching here is fully on Martin Yankov's side after what happened to him in the earlier race here today, and he is pushing, possessed pushing right now, because he knows he can get by Kevin Aby, especially with a damaged front wing that he's got. Thinks about Druids. I think he's going to think better of it here and go for a full launch to try and go through. They are 3 seconds back of Gian Zaltavella and Murtol Shaheen, who are closing up together, but Martin Yankov gets the side-by-side through the lodge, gets the clearance needed. Kevin Aby can't fight too much in the background. Maxim Dimitrov goes around for a spin, barely misses Gonzalo Prieto. Is this going to be confirmed into Old Hall corner here? It will do. Kevin Aby will have to let that go. Martin Yankov now up into 4th position, and Maxim Dimitrov drops back down to P8 with the spin. So, Kevin Aby not giving this one up in the Matthew Racing F4 at the moment, needing to rely on those Pirelli tyres to do the job that they have been asked to do. Slow traffic on the inside, gets out of the way. That is Eric Vechereif, then just allowing this group to continue on. And Valentin Stamenkov here looking for a bucket of points at this moment in time. For Valentin, he knows how critical it is to try and get himself back into any form of championship contention. He is 97 points back in the championship, and if he can pick up a P3, he will really start leapfrogging drivers, and he'll be eyeing up second in the championship, mark my words about it. Climbing up the clay hill once again, lead gap down to 0.4 of a second between Murtol Shaheen and Gian Zaltavella right now. As for first, for third, and as well for 8th, it becomes an interesting game of who can manage what here in this 8th race. AB close, but still not close enough to throw the move, and now here comes the chance up the hill. Yankov doesn't get the best of runs, and to the outside now will try Kevin Aby. He's a little pinched in on that inside line. He has to yield the corner to Martin Yankov, who holds himself steady. Valentin Stamenkov doing a wonderful job of defending right now in 3rd. He's pitting Yankov and AB against each other and saying, well, you try and jostle for the best place, I'll do what I want. Zaltavella and Shaheen for the race lead. Murtol holding himself wonderfully here as Gian Zaltavella now tries to get himself up into the winner's circle here with this one going forward into the final 3rd of this race. And now you're starting to sense then the Shakespearean tragedy of 5 parts right now that all of the fireworks have happened in Act 4 here tonight, but Zaltavella looks to try and be the beneficiary here with Murtol Shaheen and Stamenkov. They're losing the place, going into the Hislop chicane to go through as Kevin Abey finds a way through. They've brought Gonzalo Prieto back round. Goes Valentin Stamenkov as he spins on the exit then of the corner. He did that with grass on entry, and now look at Zaltavella go. He is throwing everything at this to try and take the lead. Murtol Shaheen around the outside goes Gian Zaltavella. Shaheen's going to have to fight back up the deer leap, but Zaltavella's got the clearance as they head to Old Hall. Covers it off to the inside. Murtol trying to go all the way to the inside to make that move. Doesn't happen. They've got 6 seconds in the back pocket to Martin Yankov, but now Murtol Shaheen will have to race from behind because it's Gian Zaltavella who takes the race lead. And now here comes a brilliant run coming out of turn 3, the Cascades. Outside line searching from Murtol. Oh, it's close. He thought about it, but it's very difficult to hold too wide through that section. Anybody who does has themselves in a wonderful, wonderful position. So, still more to unpack as Murtol Shaheen is just being dogged at the moment here to Gian Zaltavella. It's a case of I've got slipstream and I can stay in range, and I've got a real chance of throwing my name in the hat and saying I could make something happen. So, at least right now, Murtol Shaheen is looking at second place, and at the moment, second place only. They've got their story together here, those 3 in third, fourth, and fifth. So in the final 5 minutes, if they can catch about 2 seconds a lap, they've got a chance, and that can easily happen if they start playing games. Alex Stefanov looking at 8th here with Valentin Stamenkov just after the spin. That was there for the AM category leader. Those massive points now look a little bit diminished at this moment in time, and so there is certainly focus and elements out there where you can go, right, Valentin Stamenkov wants in here, Alex Stefanov wants to get by and wants to do so quickly, and so he's eyeing up whether he's got angles to go and make it happen into turn 1. Also, Lazar Katsarski is thinking about moving forward, staying with Ivailo Dimitrov. This is 11th and 12th on the road, and it's proven to be a good scrap. Alex Stefanov now almost shadowing down into the Cascades, hoping for a run and not quite managing anything that sorts itself out. So this is being a really tough battle, as is the race lead, as is third, fourth and fifth places at the moment as they head to the Shell Oils corner. Alex Stefanov tries to throw one down on the inside. Door was left open, but there's no drive through the middle of the corner. Stefanov wasn't wise enough to it, so they're going to have to stay as they are for the time being, with Gian Zaltavella, Murtol Shaheen in positions of control, and Gonzalo Prieto on the back of Kevin Abey and Martin Yankov in third. A very tumultuous moment as far as championships go. Alex Stefanov now driving with intent, looks about thinking, can I take that 8th place away from the AM race leader at the moment? Kevin Abey with front wing damage, able to hold himself steady in the middle of this group and has to half defend and attack, and that will give Prieto a run off the exit of the corner. Gonzalo now will have a chance heading to Old Hall, cover to the inside, back to the outside. Can he pinch the line off? Through turn 1 they go at Old Hall. Little bit of a crossover coming from Gonzalo Prieto. Thinks about the inside. It's not there. He's going to have to push it along the front stretch. And again, on the brakes down into the Cascade. He's just nibbling away at that left rear tyre of Kevin Abey, wanting to find any which way to go through. 4.5 seconds now the gap at the front, with 2 minutes soon to be on the clock. Zaltavella still holding against Murtol Shaheen. Here comes Prieto to the outside. Kevin Abey desperately defending this play, and now Prieto, seeing what makes this Oulton Park circuit difficult, looks to cross him over for Britons to try and get the pass done, and again he's not quite in position to capitalise. They've just allowed Martin Yankov free real estate to go and work in, because it's free real estate. He can run, and he'll have to get by Kenny Campos as the next piece of lap traffic. Prieto is holding himself steady, and at least right now, you've still got Murtol Shaheen eyeing up a pass, thinking about Druids. This will be the last lap coming up, which they'll be going on to. So now, Murtol versus Gian. Zaltavella feeling like he's got this all locked up with that move done at 2/3 distance. Murtol Shaheen has not given up after starting 21st on the grid. Gian Zaltavella 13th to 4th, from 7th currently to P1 at the moment, taking advantage, these two drivers, of dramas each and every other place we have seen it over the course of the laps. Alex Stefanov still can't get what he wants, and now finally will eye up that move in towards turn 1 at Old Hall. Finally gets his pass on Valentin Stamenkov. Over to Shell Oil's corner goes your leading duo, and they find themselves unable to change the dynamic that they've got right now. 0.3 of a second. Gonzalo Prieto again is close at 0.3 of a second, but he's not getting any love or luck here with Kevin Abey, who is fighting brilliantly against this with a wounded and damaged car at the moment. To Britons they go, and the championship leader, with a team that has maybe been full of very naughty boys here today, continues, and now he'll look for a run because he's got an angle to the inside. Shaheen still not close enough against Altavella. There goes the throw by Gonzalo Prieto, completely chops the nose of Kevin Abey and stakes 4th as his claim to this race. He'll still drop a few points to Martin Yankov, but it'll only be one corner left for your leaders here. Gian Zaltavella, 0.4 of a second, is going to have to take an almighty send down the inside to make this happen. On the brakes they go. Murtol Shaheen, nothing he can do. Gian Zaltavella is going to come to the line and take race 8, and that will be a big port of call for Gian, who used to be championship leader here. Yankov, a well-deserved 3rd. Gonzalo Prieto, give him some credit there for driving through the field, 4th place, and Kevin Abey 5th. It will be Teodor Ivanov who will lead your Pro-Am category to the line. Valentin Stamenkov for the Am category, but still on here between the likes of Ivaylo Dimitrov and Lazar Katsarski. Katsarski hoping for drive out of the exit, and Lazar has nothing left. Move made then and done. Ivaylo Dimitrov, the Am category championship leader, 11th and crucially 3rd in class. Likes of Roy Viveka and co will be looking to make a way home, as Dimitar Palauzov, after a jump start, will be slowly making his way back as well as he runs through the Hislop chicane and over towards Knickerbrook. But oh my, there are going to be some very angry voices when it comes to this championship, and I'm sure that paddock will be turning a lot of heads, and there'll be a lot of noise here from this Summer Cup on the actions of what we have seen here today, as Dimitar Palauzov makes his run to Lodge Corner and will be the final finisher in terms of this race, and it will set the field up then and get it confirmed as far as racing then goes. Gian Zaltavella winning by 0.3 of a second over Murtol Shaheen. 3rd belonging to Martin Yankov, with Gonzalo Prieto 4th, and Kevin Abey rounding out your top 5 in the field. It would then follow Teodor Ivanov and Maxim Dimitrov 6th and 7th, with 8th place belonging to Alex Stefanov. It will then be Valentin Stamenkov and Scott Edwards who would round your top 10 out, with Ivaylo Dimitrov and Lazar Katsarski 11th and 12th. Your last 3 finishers on the leading lap would be Vladimir Mavrodiev, Roy Viveka and Dimitar Palauzov, with Kenny Campos 1 lap down. 2 laps down would be Eric Vechereif, then with Krastin Stanchev in 18th position, but the first of the retirees at 5 laps down, along with Milan Milchev. Joris Ohms caught out in the opening laps with Gabriel Ivanov, Chris Vrajilov there with the broken rear wing. You can see on screen Aleix Casanova, Alex Plamenov, and Alberto Campos making up the field. Well, now is the chance to start talking here when it comes to your SimGear press conference, and there is no better place to start than with Martin Yankov, who picked up a podium there in that race number 3. But Martin, your thoughts on being intentionally taken out of the race there by Aleix Casanova in race 1?
Well, I have no words actually. I I can't imagine doing this in a race. I mean, we're not children. We put a lot of hours trying to achieve uh, podiums and trying to achieve victories, and I'm really disappointed that somebody decided to do that. I don't know what's the reason, but uh, I don't know.
It is really a sad day when you see something like that happen. But the way that you responded and bounced back in race 2, 16th, all the way to 3rd, how did you go about picking off all of those places? Because there was a lot of carnage on that lap 1, and you had half the places gained, 16th to 8th, by the time you exited turn 3.
Well, I decided that I had to risk it, even though I slowed down and tried to find the path that is safest. And I think at the end I got lucky because behind me somebody went like 2 or 3 millimeters away from me. But yeah, I really liked Oulton Park. I clicked with the track and I managed to get a good result after this.
Critically, you're able to, in both races, close down the championship lead. I know you're not necessarily focusing on the championship, but you're now in a title-winning position out there to try and make it happen. Do you feel like you're going to be in a position to make that happen when it comes to racing action next week at the Nürburgring?
Actually, I'm a little bit disappointed and not sure if I'll drive after something like this. But I hope I get some motivation again and work hard, and I will try to get the best out of it.
Well, we hope that you find your motivation, mate, because it was completely not on what happened today. But we do hope that we see you battling it out in 7 days' time there. Martin Yankov there joining us for the moment. Your winner in race number 2 is here alongside me now, Gian Zaltavella. Gian, a day where you go from 13th to 4th, avoiding all the chaos. It seems like you might have been the only cool head in a room full of drivers who decided to lose it today.
Yeah, I guess it was because of the reason, the way I went into this race. Because before the session opened, I had no laps on this track for this race, so I thought I'll just drive and see what happened. And then I got wheel damage in the qualifying, so I couldn't really get all the performance I wanted to take out of it. So yeah, the rest of the results is nice, I guess.
You certainly take it, especially seeing as it's been a checkered season in terms of attendance for you. So the opportunity to stage hunt like you did here today, does that give you a lot of pride finding a victory like that today?
Yeah, especially on this track because you can't really race here. Coming from this far back, also Yankov, of course, coming from that far back is quite tough. So managing to do that is, yeah, quite an achievement. Gives me a decent amount of pride.
And talk about the battle that you had then over the final few laps there. Myrtle certainly gave you a good race for it. And are you going to be looking to stage hunt when it comes to racing action when we jump over to the Nürburgring?
Oh, I'll definitely stage hunt in that race. But the last couple laps, yeah, well, they were tough. I was sweating behind the screen here. Yeah, Myrtle was, of course, very quick, and apparently I got some pace left there, so I did a 33.2, 33.0. And then finalizing that with the overtaker on the outside was, yeah, like the cherry on top of the cake.
A wonderful cherry on top for Gian Zautavella, who went from 13th to 4th and from 7th to get a race victory. A race winner in race number 1, but 5th place in race 2. A good day for Kevin Aby. Kevin, that... You know, you never want to inherit a race win like that, but you certainly still had to fight for it on the last lap with Gabriel Ivanov.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was fighting with Martin before he got taken out, but that wasn't definitely how I wanted to overtake him. But yeah, the last lap was quite intense. I did a huge mistake, not covering the inside, letting him next to me. But I think I did a pretty good job there, and getting P1 back and win the race.
Race 2 was a little bit more adventurous, especially with a little bit of contact between you and Teodor Ivanov down at his lops, and then having to deal with the broken front wing for the rest of the race, trying to fight against Martin Yankov and Gonzalo Prieto. So talk us through that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, even the start was quite. Turn 2 was a crash. 4 cars spun out in front of me, and I could just avoid it. And with the crash with Teodor, I was just too impatient. Tried to go inside, didn't work out. The front wing damage cost me quite a lot of pace. If I were more patient, I think I could definitely get for another podium or even a race victory in race 2.
Swiss driver, so not many Swiss tracks out there in the world after the Le Mans disaster of the 1950s, but a lot of Swiss drivers have a lot of experience when it comes to the French circuits and the German circuits. We head to the Nürburgring next. Is that a happy hunting ground for you?
Definitely. I know the track pretty well in Formula cars as well as in GT cars. So it's nothing new to me. I know what to do there, and I think it will be a pretty fun race there.
Well, we wish you the best of luck with that. Kevin Aby, a win in race 1, 5th position in race number 2. The driver who finished second here in this race 2 started from second, but had to start from the back of the field as far as qualifying was concerned. Murtol Shaheen. Murtol, to go from being banned in qualifying to go up to 9th in the first race, giving you that platform to try and fight for the race win. You've had a rags to riches day today.
Yeah, I think I did well the first race. I didn't take many risks. I could have been 1 or 2 spots higher, but I took it easy.
You certainly found a great way to charge on forward out there in terms of it. But talk us through your battle with Jan over towards the end of the race there, because you just lost the race lead, and then you were right on top of him. Do you feel like this was a circuit that made it very difficult to pass today?
No, he was definitely faster than me. I was only keeping up because of the slipstream. The first half of the race, I was trying to do it without off tracks for the bonus points. But when he came in my slipstream, I was pushing hard and taking off tracks.
And so pushing hard with a couple of races to go, do you feel like there's an opportunity for you, if the cards align for you, that you can pick up another couple of great results when it comes to the Nürburgring?
I hope so, but it's not a very good track for me. I like it, but I'm not good at it.
You like it, but it doesn't like you. We'll wish you the best of luck for it. Murtol Shaheen then from 21st to 9th, and then from 2nd over to 2nd. The other driver who finished 2nd overall was Gabriel Ivanov, was able to do that in race number 1, but ultimately a retirement in race number 2. Gabriel, let's start with the positives here. Getting yourself a great opportunity to fight for the race win in the final couple of moments of the 7th round of the championship.
Well, I'm sorry. I was, I should say, pretty unlucky because in the first chicane, Kevin banked me a little bit on the outside and got some on the grass and got lower speed. And then on the second chicane, I got netcode. So, yeah, but it was pretty good first race, a pretty good opportunity to get the win. But yeah, that's racing, I guess.
Race 2, not so lucky. Chris Vrajlov has his moment, and you're caught up in a massive car pileup. So, how do you, as a driver, try and avoid those sorts of issues? I know that some are completely unavoidable, which I'm sure yours was, but do you feel like there was anything you could have done to get out of that situation?
Oh, yeah, of course. I was just so aggressive with, especially in the second race, because I wanted to get some positions in the start because the track is very hard to overtake. And then I got pretty greedy and I clipped the apex curb, and Chris was not going to the right side on the track, and I didn't expect it, and I caught his wheel, and then it happened.
Sometimes those are the breaks when it comes to putting together results like this in a championship. You've had a little bit of an on and off championship, down on 191 championship points, but as you're looking to make that charge with one missed round this season, what are you aiming as your goal to try and get in the championship heading to the final rounds?
I don't know. To be honest, I'm not chasing the championship that much. I'm just, with, having fun. I'm not practicing for these races. We have a lot of endurances that 24 Spa, and I didn't practice it on the F4 because I used to drive it a lot when I started iRacing. But it's just good fun, these races. A lot of mixed skill brackets, I guess.
Well, it looks like there are opportunities for you, Gabriel Ivanov, then having a day where it was great in race number 1, got to P2, but ultimately 21st will be the overall contention. 22nd, we've got it here for this one going through. Let's go down to Pro-Am for a little bit, because Maxim Dimitrov has had a very, very healthy day, 11th to 8th and 3rd to 7th. Maxime, a day of really strong and good battling to go and deal with over the course of racing, and a lot of time spent trying to hold Kevin Abbey off there in that race too.
Yeah, good day for me. Mostly I was battling my car instead of other people, and I was struggling with the tires for both races. I was trying to hold off people as much as I could, but the spin in the last corner didn't help me. Still happy with the points.
How difficult is it to drive this F4? I know that a lot of people seem to think it's the step up that you get from the rookie series out there, the likes of the Skip Barbers and the Formula Vs, but what do you feel makes this car the biggest challenge for you?
For me, it's very tricky on tires. Once you overheat those ones, you need to slow down, cool them off, don't push too hard. Otherwise, you are going to be on alrighty tires for most of the race, but they will never come back until you back off.
And so for you, championship might be a little bit out of reach, but with Joris Ohms crashing out there of that race too, that is a chance to say you're right back in the picture as far as championship goes. So you got an opportunity with an outside shot for Pro-Am. Are you looking for a little bit more misfortune when it comes to the Nürburgring?
I would be happy with the bronze. I'm not sure where I'm standing currently in the championship, but I'm targeting to, if I get the bronze, I will be really happy with the result, as it's off-season competition.
Yeah, it would be a really strong result to see that from you. Maxim Dimitrov there joining us. And we will get a chance to talk down in the AM category with Valentin Stamenkov, who's also had an equally good day. 12th to 10th, 1st to 9th. Valentin being at the front in race 2, having all those quick drivers hunting you down. That must be a very scary prospect when you're up there on the grid on pole. Do we have a copy with you, Valentin?
Yeah, hello, bro. I am very happy this result. Respect all guys. Congratulations you and all organization. Everything is fine. I'm very happy this result.
Absolutely, you should be. It's a day where you're looking around at qualifying, and especially when you start with qualifying, you set your time and you're looking around, and your top half basically is you've gone and put the times together on the board. How much confidence do you take from a championship and race results like this? How do you think this is going to help you moving back into the likes of SIMGEAR Cup, GT Cups, and the like?
1 second, please. Yeah, I'm happy this qualification. This my 2 season SIMGEAR. Respect all guys. I'm play strong over.
Well, we will look at this and say we'll wish you the best of luck. Valentin Stamenkov there joining us, having a lot of fun, a lot of respect, and then 2 great results of a 10th and a 9th here today. That will wrap things up for racing action here today in the SIMGEAR F4 Summer Challenge, and I think the Summer Heat has got to a number of drivers here today. There will be a lot of stern talking points, and words must be had after a round like this, heading over to the Nürburgring, the championship finale. In some way, shape, or form, Gonzalo Prieto, on what has been a bad day for him, has been able to squeak out the championship lead when nobody has been able to get a lasting advantage with how things have gone. There is still a long road to go, though, and it will be at the Nürburgring. You can catch that in 7 days with us with SimGear. I've been Jake Sperry. It's a day which, honestly, many people will want to forget. Martin Yankov's got a chance, but Prieto, counting his lucky stars, he still somehow leads this title.